Mzansi, and welcome to a very special broadcast of Afternoon Express. I'm Palisa Tembe, and today it's all about meeting the winners of the incredible sponsors of Brave, the Next Generation campaign, driven by Adcock Ingram OTC and Brand Studio.
Sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave.
Acts of ordinary courage, of brave compassion that put the health of patients first. These are the everyday heroes of the healthcare profession. Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave, brought you beautiful stories of young aspiring healthcare workers that have shown true compassion, courage and bravery during the height of COVID-19. Now, we've asked you, the viewers, to send us your votes and nominate a worthy young healthcare student. And finally today, we find out who the lucky winner of this Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave. Now we chat to Yudhvir Singh, the financial director of Adcock Ingram OTC, about this amazing campaign and the inspiration behind it. Welcome back to the loft, Yudhvir.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Now, Yudhvir, season 1 of Adcock Ingram Sponsors of Brave was all about paying tribute to those brave healthcare workers, showing us what it means to be everyday heroes. Now, what was the inspiration behind season 2, the next generation of Brave, and why did Adcock Ingram feel that this was so important?
So if you look at where we are now, it takes compassion, courage, and unwavering bravery to step into a career that's in the healthcare industry, especially while we navigate through this pandemic. Yet we've seen during the pandemic, countless young healthcare professionals, they raised their hands to volunteer in the fight against coronavirus this year. It's our ambition to encourage these budding healthcare professionals of South Africa to continue making a difference in the world and to recognize many of these individuals for their selfless sacrifice. It's an attempt to try and motivate career development in the healthcare sector.
Wow. Now, we've covered some amazing nominees over the past few weeks, but what do you feel was the biggest take-home from this campaign for the nominees and the people of South Africa?
So from this campaign, we received over 250 entries or nominees and around 10,000 votes. Even though we've only featured 10 of those, it's inspiring and heartwarming to see the interest in healthcare and the willingness to do better for our communities by all the nominees. These individuals are our future, and they are future healthcare practitioners. One day you and I may call on them in our time of need as well. And it's to encourage these individuals to advance in their career and further development in the healthcare sector. Our aim for this is so that the spirit behind the campaign must live on, and we must continue giving back and serving communities and acknowledging those around us who also go above and beyond.
Thank you so much, Yudhvir, yet again, not only for bringing such incredible nominees, but also for highlighting bravery within South Africa. Goodbye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
A campaign that has truly created a platform to assist those young aspiring healthcare workers in taking that next step in their career.
Sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave.
Bantu Basemzansi, what's your message of hope to these deserving future healthcare professionals? Share it on the Afternoon Express Twitter and Instagram pages now, and use that hashtag Sponsors of Brave, hashtag Adcock Ingram OTC. But coming up, we sit down with Jerusha Roth, the head of Brand Studio, to unpack why the celebratory campaign is important to the South African public and healthcare industry.
Sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave.
Adcock Ingram OTC embarked on a journey to change the lives of these young healthcare professionals through their platform. The next generation is not just about those fearless young people and their mentors, but rather a call for all South Africans to recognize and celebrate the next generation of Brave. We chat to Jerusha Roth, the head of Brand Studio, on the success of this campaign and how this provided a platform to share these stories of the next generation of Brave. Jerusha, welcome to the loft.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Now, Jerusha, why was Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave, such an important project for you?
It's been such a difficult year the world over, and especially a difficult year in South Africa. And we had this opportunity to highlight frontline healthcare workers, the people who are really making a difference in their communities. And what better time than 2020 when healthcare is the most important thing in our society at the moment. So it was such a great opportunity to highlight the amazing work these young people and their mentors are doing in their communities.
But then why was it so important to celebrate this next generation of Brave and help those young healthcare workers excel through their studies?
You know, many people are describing 2020 as that lost year, where a lot of students perhaps lost a year because they were unable to study, or a lot of people lost time that they weren't allowed to spend with loved ones. And so we wanted to make up for that lost time, and we wanted to make sure that those young students weren't going to lose a year of their lives, that we're going to give them the opportunity to get money for their studies and to continue so that we have a new generation of healthcare workers. And that's exactly what we did. In addition, mentorship, you know this, is so important. As a young professional, to have somebody who's been there, done that, who's perhaps even made the mistakes and helps you so that you don't have to do the same is so vital in any industry. And so we wanted to pair those young healthcare professionals with mentors who can guide them and help them on their journey.
So then why was Adcock Ingram OTC Sponsors of Brave such an important project for the healthcare industry as a whole?
I think, if anything, this year has shown us what an extraordinary job our healthcare professionals do. Perhaps before this year, we took them for granted and we didn't really realize the sacrifices that our doctors, nurses, and our pharmacists put for the sacrifice they make for us. You know, they put themselves second, and sometimes they put their families second. And so it was so important for us to highlight that incredible work that they do and to thank them, really. As we head to the end of the year, it's an opportunity to look back over this campaign and just take a moment to say thank you to those healthcare professionals for everything they do.
Tell us about the response of the campaign and the nominations you've received, and more than ever, what will those two winners be walking away with?
South Africans really came together through this campaign. They nominated extraordinary candidates from all around the country, and then they put their money where their mouth is, and they came back to the site and voted for their favorite mentor and mentee. So what's in it for them? Well, the winning nominee stands a chance to win an extraordinary sum of 25,000 Rand towards their studies in the form of a scholarship, which really is so important. And the winning mentor has an opportunity to have money donated towards a charity of their choice, and an opportunity to travel internationally when it's safe to do so again, to an international conference or congress, a medical conference or congress of their choice.
So through all the nominations that have come through, it was narrowed down to the final 10, which of course we've shown here on Afternoon Express every week. But let's take a look one more time at who those final 10 nominees are.
Menzi is such a bright and shiny little thing. She is tiny in stature, but she's got a big heart and she's got an incredibly bright mind.
Vanessa has shown a lot of courage during the COVID pandemic. While most of us were busy at home during lockdown, she was in the field collecting clinical samples from TB patients.
There's no stop in Julian. I think he will carry on for life, trying to create more things and learn more stuff.
Viv spent 10 months with us as a master's intern. I think we were very fortunate to get a really bright individual, very committed and dedicated to her work.
I really wish that they would remain socially engaged. They would think of where the patients come from, what the context is, what the value add is that they bring. I see a lot of this in this young man. He's got great potential for the future.
He really wants to come in the profession and make an impact. Someone who wants to really have his contribution here in the best way possible.
I have trained many nurses in my life, and with Karabo, the time I spent with her, I can see that she's a caring person. You cannot be taught how to care. It needs to be something that is intrinsic, and she does possess the caring.
Because she sees the future. She's not set into just the limitations of what we are confronted with today. She can understand that she can have a positive and robust impact.
And through the program in clinical pharmacy and working with us in the community of Delft, we saw him change and mature, where he has a vision for himself, but also for the community and his profession.
He's got a hunger to be successful. You can see when you're working with him. He's got a passion to be successful in life, and he shows commitment. So it is a pleasure to be mentoring Siboye.
Another look at that final 10. That is completely amazing to see the hope that these young graduates have in the healthcare sector. And thank you so much, Jerusha, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Wow, absolutely amazing. So those were your top 10 nominees nominated by you, the public. In just a few moments, we will find out who our 2 winners are of Adcock Ingram OTC's Sponsors of Brave. Protect what matters to you with insurance from Standard Bank. SMS LIFE to 31492 for a quote that fits your needs. Ingram OTC, Sponsors of Brave, embarked on a journey to celebrate and empower the youth of today's young healthcare professionals and allowed South Africans to acknowledge these individuals by voting for them. Now let's meet the judges behind this campaign. Pharmacist and TV personality Nicole Kappa, investigative journalist Derek Watts, head of brand studio Jerusha Rath, and myself, of course, Balisa Tembe. Thank you guys for joining us. Some virtually and some on the couch. Nicole, now as a judge, how important was having season 2 of Sponsors of Brave?
I think it's been the perfect, most needed end to 2020. What an intense year it's been. And we actually started this year with the first season of Sponsors of Brave. And what Adcock Ingram OTC has done is they've actually created a campaign that's recognizing those unsung heroes in healthcare that have literally saved our lives this year. I think more than ever we've needed to to recognize and realize the value that they've added, and now to take it to the next generation. What a way to end off the year with a message of hope and positivity, that let's look and focus at the upcoming medical students, at the interns and community service students. I mean, I know what it's like to be there, and I'd never faced that sort of grueling, intense process in the middle of a global pandemic. So yes, it's time to shine a spotlight on them, what they've been doing, and who's going the extra mile.
So when you were going through the judging process and you were trying to eye out your candidates, what were you looking for in the winners?
Well, I must say, with a background as a pharmacist, I looked at it with a completely different set of eyes, because I actually got quite emotional watching their stories. These people have been wanting to do this for years, some of them their entire life. All they've dreamt of is being a doctor or a pharmacist. And now they're doing it amidst these incredibly difficult circumstances. And even with those circumstances, they're going above and beyond. And they're doing things that I could never have imagined doing, not even now, never mind in their formative stages of their careers.
Absolutely. My mind is just blown, Derek, when it comes to this campaign and essentially who it's highlighted. Now, this campaign has provided a platform for growth and mentorship. But why was this important for our future healthcare workers?
This sounded good from the start, and it's been an amazing journey for me because, in fact, we've actually had 3 stages. The first was recognizing the brave journalists we have in this country, which was also a fantastic step. And then, of course, as we said, recognizing qualified pharmacists and healthcare workers. And it was such a logical move to go to what you would call students and undergraduates and those recently graduated. And as we were saying, the stories were really emotional, a lot of them. And if you look at our winners from where they're from and the journey that they've had, I looked a lot, to be honest, at their background. And some might say, it's something we shouldn't bring into the judging. I don't know. But I thought that has to come into it. I wanted to see their achievements since they'd started their studies. I wanted to see the comments of the mentors and, of course, the colleagues. I wanted to hear their vision for the future, what they wanted to change in life, and especially in South Africa and possibly back where they came from. And also I wanted to hear that they'd been active during the pandemic. And as it happens, I think a lot of them were. And for me, that gave them an extra, maybe not a whole point, but certainly a fraction of a point.
I have to agree with you, Derek. But Derek, what has been then your own personal take out of the Adcock Ingram OTC Sponsors of Brave campaign and the nominees, of course?
Personally, I think it was a very brave step, and I'm not just saying it for Adcock Ingram OTC to start Sponsors of Brave, because it started big. Really, if you go back, I think it started with codeine and codeine addiction. At least they were willing to face this. I mean, cough syrup was being sold around the country in gallons for codeine addiction. And at least they were able to face this and say, what we're going to do about it. So that's my first take, is that it was just a great idea for a pharmaceutical company to step up and say, look, there is a problem, we're doing something about it. And the other thing is that what is it like to spend years of your life studying, okay? And you are really like maybe 8-10 hours a day in a back room, What recognition do you get? And not a lot. And I think it's just amazing to hear the devotion of some of these young people who are determined to make a difference. And when you look at our winners, they want to make a big difference.
Absolutely. I mean, Jerusha, welcome back. So I have to find out from you, as one of our final judges, I have to touch base. What does bravery mean to you? And what were you looking for out of these young nominees?
I think just having viewed these incredible entries and the nominee stories, what bravery meant to me after interacting with this content was bravery is somebody who's willing to put themselves second and to put their communities first, to serve during a difficult time without thinking about themselves, and actually being willing to put themselves in harm's way sometimes to bring a service to the people around them. I walk away with renewed hope and optimism in South Africa's youth. We have a generation of young people who are willing to take the lead and to do things that this country desperately needs, to lead with compassion and with heart. And that's what we've seen this campaign through.
I love the fact that some of our nominees decided to go, study, come back and practice where they grew up. And for me, that's what I was looking for. So thank you so much, not only for being a voice to such an incredible campaign, but picking a winner that I'm looking forward to announcing soon. Thank you so much, Nicole.
Thanks, Palesa.
Thank you so much, Derek and Jerusha.
To have a very festive season, but not too festive. Social distancing.
Thank you so much, Jerusha.
Thank you, Palesa. Thanks for having me.
Now, on a daily basis, our journalists and public personalities speak for all of us with integrity. As judges, we want to thank them for being a part of this amazing campaign, and we especially thank them for their continuous courage and hard work. Next, we find out who the winners are of Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, the next generation.
Sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave.
The moment has finally come where we get to see who the winners are of Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave. Now remember that you, the public, had a chance to vote for your winner and the judges voted for theirs. So without wasting any more time, let's find out who the winners are. Drum roll, please. Vineshli Samuels and her mentor, Dr. Andani Mulelu, who were the Judges' Choice winners. And the winner nominees who walked away with the public choice votes is Tebogo Munogo and her mentor, Dr. Stephen Steyn. A huge congratulations goes to you both. Woo! Now, after the break, we chat to our Judges' Choice winners, Vineshli Samuels and her mentor, Dr. Andani Mulelu. Don't go anywhere. Timothy Samuels is a PhD candidate who is looking to change lives by finding cures for diseases. Growing up in Atlantis, Vineshli saw many families living in close quarters together contracted tuberculosis, and this experience has driven her to want to specialize in TB research. Paired up with her mentor, Dr. Andani Mulelu, she's driven to make a difference in this field. Now, this is the Judges' Choice winners of Adcock Ingram OTC's Sponsors of Brave, the Next Generation. Now, let's take a look at this beautiful video.
The one thing that stood out for me was he told me that we all move at our own pace, and it's okay to move at that pace because it requires patience, which is something that doesn't come easy. I need to tell myself that I will be okay, and I've gotten this far. Nothing's going to stop me from getting further than that.
Hi, Vineshli, right?
Yes, Dr. Mulelu.
Yes, nice to meet you. Are you excited about today?
I am. Today I will be spending the day with Dr. Andani Mulelu, who is a research scientist at the Health and Drug Discovery Unit at the University of Cape Town.
Her research field is trying to develop a rapid test for TB, for diagnosing TB. She's very passionate about healthcare and very driven. She's definitely in the right field. So this is where we do the protein determination.
What reagents do you insert?
You first insert the protein and then you insert the dye.
I'm from a small town called Atlantis, and Jura Flats in Atlantis is known for its gangsterism because we are so overcrowded, right? A lot of the people that stay there, they become ill. And one of the diseases that actually affect them is TB, and that is where I come in because I want to make that change.
Vineshli has shown a lot of courage. During the COVID pandemic, while most of us were busy at home during lockdown, she was in the field collecting clinical samples from TB patients.
Mentorship is really important. Having an actual individual that can guide you and help you and give you that support that is needed, honestly.
Mentorship is valuable because a lot of the young professionals have not learned from some of the experience that come with the profession. I hope Vineshli has now seen what happens behind the scenes during the development of drugs.
Dr. Mulelu is an amazing scientist. Working in drug discovery requires a lot of effort and time and patience and persistence, and those are all characteristics that describe him as a person. We get very caught up, and sometimes we need someone's perspective from the outside. And I feel like today gave me a lot of that. Yeah, it was an amazing day, honestly. I did not expect my day to go this way at all. I feel like I've gained a lot of personal insight into where I see our work going and how I need to carry myself through the whole journey.
I really think the work that you're doing currently is very important. It could help a lot of people, and I encourage you to keep pushing. Your future does look bright.
As a young South African woman from a previously disadvantaged background, I aim to develop tools that can be useful to combat diseases that is endemic in our country, and that is my main goal.
She's very smart. She's passionate about what she does. She is very driven. It takes tremendous bravery to actually do what she did. She has a great future in this field.
Wow, absolutely amazing. Congratulations, guys. Vineshli, Dr. Andani Mulelu, and of course, we're welcoming back Nicole.
Thank you, Palesa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to be here.
Finally, we get to meet face to face. But I feel like I'm already so familiar with you and the work that you do. I mean, Vineshli, how does it feel to be announced as the Judges' Choice winner?
Honestly, I think I was overwhelmed at first, but I've been overwhelmed with so much joy and happiness. So it's really an honor to be one of the nominees that actually won the scholarship.
Yeah. And for you, Dr. Andani?
Oh, it was amazing, yeah. I was so shocked when they announced the award.
I know. I can only imagine the almost pinch yourself moment someone experiences. I mean, Nicole, as one of the judges, when you see these two, what makes them the perfect pair that made them walk away as winners?
Well, I think this whole program is designed to celebrate those unsung heroes. We sat back in awe, and it was a really difficult decision to make, to be very honest.
Yeah.
But to watch these two, and I think especially to watch the story and where she's come from and her upbringing was really inspiring to see how much progress you've made, but also to be working in a disease field, which I think with COVID this year is often neglected, but it is still globally the second biggest killer is tuberculosis. And to be working in your PhD in a field like that for us was remarkable, that you're not just studying, you're going further than that in a field of healthcare in the midst of a pandemic and doing the most.
From season 1 to season 2, I've been so well exposed and equipped with different stories from people working in the healthcare profession, and yours stood out leaps and bounds, truly exemplifying what bravery means. So if I were to turn the tables and now ask the both of you, what does bravery mean to you? Vaneshli?
Well, to me, bravery means to be courageous and to be selfless. So you're not just putting everything else one side, but you're focusing on wanting to bring a change in the community, despite having other things going on. So being selfless and being courageous is definitely my definition of bravery.
I think bravery is just getting an idea and just going out there and implementing it without really worrying about what might happen. Yeah, just taking that risk just to make a change.
It does seem like, Doctor, if you have a vision, you need to go full throttle and have no breaks almost. And that's what you did, so much so that you're now walking away with a 25,000 Rand scholarship going towards your studies. So how does 2021 look like? And if I were to ask you about your 5-year plan in your young career, what would that be?
That is such a powerful question. But based on how we're developing things and how things are actually progressing, I feel like within the next 5 years we will definitely be able to shorten the TB treatment, and that is amazing. And we're also trying to work on strains that are multi-drug resistant and extremely drug resistant strains, and that's one of our huge problems actually. So in the next 5 years I'll definitely be really busy.
We hope so.
Like there's no breaks, exactly what you said. But then again, we're trying to work towards a big change, and this pandemic has definitely escalated this.
Okay, and for yourself, Doctor, as a mentor, you also, you're also winning, not only are you winning an overseas conference of your choice, it being 2020 and COVID, I'm not quite sure how that looks in terms of your plans, but secondly, you're also walking away with a 25,000 Rand cash prize that you can hand over to a charitable cause that you choose. So have you thought of your NPO?
Yes. It's such a great honor to be able to give back to the community in this way. My choice of NPO was Hope Africa Collective. I am really inspired by about what they do. So they are trying to tackle poverty by coming up with ideas that will provide sustainable solutions for poverty.
So what advice, tips and tricks can you give to young graduates and students within the healthcare profession?
I want our generation to know that in their life they might undergo painful sharpenings, but that will make them better in whatever they do.
A true Oprah moment. Dr. Molelo, as a winner yourself, do you have any words of encouragement for those that you work side by side with, your colleagues?
Yes, I think most of the time a lot of us get sidetracked. We focus so much on our work, and then we kind of forget what brought us to our certain careers, and that's to help people. And I would encourage people to really take a look at what their main goals are.
Basically, keeping your eye on the prize and remembering your why. Nicole, incredible work that you're doing, sis. You are just, you inspire me so much. Your heart, your mind, and not only that, you're actually walking the talk. We definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, Palesa. It's an absolute privilege being part of a program like this, and to watch a company like Adcock Ingram OTC actually go beyond, invest in people's lives who are doing the most. I'm literally the fan on the front line, just standing there cheering for everybody.
Well, we all got our pom-poms. A huge congratulations again goes to our Judges' Choice winners. Now, after the break, we chat to the People's Choice winners, Tebogo and her doctor mentor, Dr. Steyn. Tebogo Monogo, a second-year pharmacy student at Northwest University, has a passion for psychopharmacology and neuroscience. Originally from a small village in Limpopo, Tebogo moved to Potchefstroom in 2016 to further her studies. Pursuing her second degree in pharmacy, Tebogo received mentorship by Dr. Stefan Steyn, a lecturer in pharmacology, to guide her onto the right path. This is the People's Winner's Choice of Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, the next generation of Brave. Let's have a look at this beautiful video.
My definition of brave is knowing that you're putting your life at risk, but you're just doing it for the lives of others, and you do it with so much courage and passion.
Hi Tebogo.
Hello, Doctor.
Welcome to your mentorship day. Are you ready for it?
Overall, I'm excited.
That's good. Let's get started.
Today I'm going to be spending a day with Dr. Stefan Steyn, who's a pharmacy lecturer in the pharmacology division at Northwest University.
Tebogo is an open-minded person. I told her this morning, people in general don't like being taught anything, purely because we cannot acknowledge what we do not know. And Tebogo is not one of those people. She's proud to say what she does not know.
I'm from Bakersford in Limpopo, a small village called Ramadison. I came here in 2016 for my first degree, which was BSc in psychology. At first it was hard because you're coming from a place where you're not used to big buildings, but it's good to have people to go to and they would help you. At first I didn't believe in having a mentor because I believed that I could do anything by myself. But then as I met Dr. Steyn, I got to understand why we need mentorship to guide us, to give us a pathway.
Doing a mentorship program with Tebogo was easy. She's, like I said, open-minded, so we could chat about not only this mentorship program and healthcare, but I could really get an insight into who she is.
He made it less about focusing on academics. He got to know me as a person, and he made sure that I know why mentorship is valuable. So I'm grateful for that.
Because she sees the future. She's not set into just the limitations of what we are confronted with today. She can understand that she can have a positive and robust impact. Tebogo needs to be part of the next generation of Brave because of her influence not only in a small community, but in the bigger healthcare sector as well.
I've had a great time. Yeah, I've learned a lot from it, and I'm definitely pursuing that postgraduate degree. Mentorship is valuable. It's definitely the guidance that everyone needs. So keep on bothering me if I have a problem.
Wow, congratulations, you two, absolutely.
Incredible, incredible, wow.
I'm so excited for them, Nicole. I mean, I have to find out from the winners themselves, how does it feel to be the People's Choice winner, Tebogo?
It feels amazing. The journey has been overwhelming and scary, but it's an honor to be chosen by the people. It means that they have seen something in us, and we promise that the investment in us won't go to waste.
Oh, wow. I love that. That investment in us will not go to waste. I mean, Dr. Steyn, do you agree? How does it feel to be the People's Winner's Choice?
It feels brilliant. I do feel honored and privileged, and I must say I didn't know there were that many people that liked me.
Now, Nicole, when you hear that, what do you think it is about this pair that just resonated with the people of South Africa?
I think the people of South Africa fell in love with the process, first of all, of recognizing these next generation brave unsung heroes in healthcare. Yeah. And to watch these two, especially watching their story, that got me all kinds of excited for the potential and the future of healthcare, especially focusing on mentoring. And I think the aspirational part of this dynamic duo was the fact that they're focusing on mental health. And in a year like 2020, you know, we've had such a roller coaster and we've seen such a rise in suicide and depression. And this is really her area of passion. Yeah. To see somebody like Tebogo, who's gone on to study a second degree because she's so passionate about studying in the area of healthcare and pharmacy, and to take it even further now and to pursue these her special interest in neuroscience and psychopharmacology is incredible.
Tebogo and Dr. Steyn, this campaign is about bravery and courage. So what does bravery mean to you, Tebogo?
To me, thank you for the question, by the way. Bravery to me, it means that you're at the forefront of everything. You're receiving the receiving end of the unknown, and then you're still doing so for the people, and then you're doing it with so much courage and passion, not forgetting the humankind and respect.
Yeah. And for yourself, Dr. Steyn, what does bravery mean to you?
I've thought about this, and I remember one of my sport coaches once told me that what you fear, you attract. And what you avoid comes back to you, but what you face disappears. And I think that summarizes bravery for me, especially in a year like COVID, where the health workers and then especially the pharmacists really had to take action and put themselves out there knowingly that they could be sick, and especially at the beginning, not knowing the outcome of that. So yeah, that would be bravery to me, is not or knowing the consequences and still acting on them.
Now, Tebogo, you won a 25,000 Rand scholarship towards your studies, and that's absolutely amazing. So what plans do you have for 2021 and even the next 5 years of your young career?
For 2021, I'm only planning on completing my studies, and my third year, I'm super excited about going to the hospital and doing visit and then learning more about pharmacy and then getting to engage with real-life patients at the hospital level. And then for in the next coming 5 years, I believe in commitment. I believe that I'll still be doing my postgrad and giving back to the community and developing in pharmacy, and moreover digging more into the mental health issues that are the silent killers in our youth. So that would be my focus in the next 5 years.
Wow. Now, Dr. Steyn, just hearing Tebogo's answer just must make you feel so proud. You were partnered as Tebogo's mentor, so please just tell us about that.
I was kind of caught off guard when I got the call about being a mentor, but saying that, the moment I met her, I was impressed. I think that just summarizes it. I do think Tebogo is one of the faces of the next generation of pharmacists, at least, and then I'd like to expand that to the general healthcare profession as well, where these borders of being a pharmacist or being a doctor or being a dentist or whatever kind of falls away, and you get this whole healthcare team approach. And yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that Tebogo brought to the table, and I think that's because of her psychology degree or background, that she understands that there needs to be a whole team effort into taking healthcare forward, especially with the proposed NHI on the table.
Absolutely. And as a mentor, you've also won yourself an overseas medical conference of your choice and the opportunity to pay it forward by donating 25,000 Rand to a registered NPO of your choice. Now, how does that feel, number one? And have you been able to think of an NPO?
Oh, it feels great, and it feels that it's definitely something tangible to give back to the community. So yeah, I have given it thought. It was listed on the website. It's the NGO is Save the Children. So the whole organisation is based on just picking up children, and I think really contributing to this whole next generation theme of this program. Because of my research interest being in pediatrics, the neuroscience side of it, I do believe that if we get the next generation and give them the best possible opportunities, we can kind of avoid repeating our mistakes of this year and the previous ones.
Any last words of encouragement that you have for the people that want to change the world and their communities? Tebogo?
From a girl coming from a village such as mine, I would like to tell everyone out there that your background should not limit you, and then anything is possible as long as you believe in yourself and you believe in God, that everything that God has planned for you will come to fulfillment.
Yeah, and for yourself, Dr. Steyn, finally, what last words of encouragement do you have?
I think it could be summarized in one of the brand name slogans of just go out and do it. Just do it. Not to be a cliche, but be the change that you want to see, and start small and just don't look back. Just change whatever you want to. Go and improve everything.
My very last words of congratulations. It must feel very surreal, but definitely deserving. Goodbye, you two.
Bye.
Thank you.
And thank you so much, Nicole. I almost want to have you cemented on this couch because your contribution is profound and is very impactful. We love you.
Well, thank you for having me. Like I've said, and I'll keep saying, I am so grateful to be part of this process, so lucky to be a fan on the front row, to watch incredible humans like this that, despite their background or their upbringing, that nothing is an excuse. They just go after what they want, and they're spreading a wildfire, contagious hope.
Oh, and on that note, the brave often go unnoticed. They make a profound impact, often without even getting recognition. So these are the heroes that have extraordinary courage and compassion, asking for nothing in return. And of course, just in case, they're just doing their job. Now, we wish all of our brave nominees and those that entered the healthcare world all the best in the future. And a final big congratulations to all of our winners. This is Adcock Ingram OTC's sponsors of Brave, the next generation of brave.
Experience symptoms such as bloating, nausea, cramps, and eczema after consuming dairy. You could be lactose intolerant. Be free, lactose free with the milk, mass, and dairy snack from Nolac.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, I don't know about you, Mzansi, but I'm so ready to have my cake and eat it too.
You are definitely correct, Balisa. It is that time of the year, and I know a lot of people are baking. So whether you have leftover cake, or maybe you've had a cake disaster, then leftover cake pops are the answer. I'm sure many of us have had our fair share of cake flops, but if all else fails, then our delicious Nolac cake pops can definitely still save the day.
Yes!
So, Balisa, it's that time of the year. Everyone is baking, everyone is getting busy with a whole lot of stuff. So to avoid those flops, if you've had a cake that did not go as well as you wanted it to, then I've got an answer for you. So right now, I'm not having a cake flop per se, but I have some leftover cake. So what we're going to be doing doing is making cake pops. And to do that, we're starting off with some cake that I'm just crumbling up, right? What happens now is we don't want it to be too much of a crumb because we still want to be able to taste that cake. So all I'm doing is just breaking it up and leaving a bit of chunks here and there. And then all we're going to be doing is mixing in our no-lac dairy snack and the strawberry flavor because we want something to bind it all together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add just 2 tablespoons of our no-lac strawberry dairy snack, and I'm just going to mix it through. You don't want it to be too runny. Okay. You just want it to basically hold together. So when you roll it in your hand, then it basically holds together. So I'm going to start rolling my cake pops now. The other trick is before you start putting on the icing and start getting them all beautiful, it is important to let them sit in the fridge first. So I'm going to start rolling them now because all you want is a nice little round ball which you're going to stick the cake pop stick into, right? But all we do now is I'm rolling them. I'm going to take all of these, put them into the fridge, and then get them nice and set so that it's easier to actually put the icing on top.
And that's my job.
And that's your job.
My job, Mzansi, is the decoration. It is the festive season, but I'm ready to get decorative here in the kitchen. So, Domi, all I need, essentially, to put this icing together, I need some icing sugar. I need, of course, this hero of this dish is the Clover No-Lac Dairy Snack. Now, what I love about this is that the flavors, you can have it plain, you can have strawberries as well, but I'm so glad that today we're doing strawberries. Now you can just, whichever sparkles or sprinkles you have at home, you can also use that. Or how about some fresh fruit?
Exactly, you know, so that's the whole idea. Because we're using our Clover No-Lac, the dairy snack that's been treated with lactase to basically make it more digestible, the lactose more digestible. It means that you could use any of these flavors, any of the colors, and we're basically still getting those added sources of vitamins and calcium in the actual cake pops.
Nice.
So all you need, Balisa, perhaps start with like 1 tablespoon, and then once you add it, not too much, just a little bit.
Right now, I'm mixing it up as Domi has asked, and then is it just making sure all the granules are dissolved?
Correct, correct. So the whole idea is to make sure that it's a nice thick consistency because you also don't want it to be too runny. You want to be able to let the icing stick onto the cake pop itself. Okay. Otherwise, it defeats the purpose of making that icing. And then you also want to have enough of that icing so that the sprinkles can stick onto the cake pop itself.
So right now, I have finished mixing up the dairy snack, the icing sugar, and now it's time to decorate. You elevate the pop over the dish, and then you just drape and scoop the icing in as you like.
And you look like you're having so much fun. So imagine getting those kids distracted with this for like an hour. Just give them as much of that leftover cake and let them get rolling in those sprinkles that you've got over there. Let them get busy, get them out of your way so you can make yourself a nice festive feast with your family and whatever else you need to do.
Now that my pops are on there, it's the decoration and the color.
And this is where the festive part comes in because you can use any kind of decoration you like. You can use any of the colors. I mean, we've chosen a bit of pink because of the color of our strawberry dairy snack. So you could use any of the colors. In fact, because they've got such a range, No-Lac has such a range, you could even use the plain dairy snack, and that would work just as perfectly because the flavor will still be there, the tang is still going to be there, and that's basically it. You've got a festive celebration, the kiddies are involved, and then you just get to use all of that leftover cake that you had. So to get your hands on this recipe, head over to afternoonexpress.co.za. But if you need to see how it's made again, here's a quick recap.
Made with love by Clover.
Do you experience symptoms such as bloating, nausea, cramps, and eczema after consuming dairy? You could be lactose intolerant. Be free, lactose-free with the milk, Mars, and dairy snack from No-Lac.
Made with love by Clover.
Now, Domi, today we're having dinner a different type of way. We're enjoying the sweetness that we prepared earlier in these cake Pops. I love it. We use something that a lot of lactose intolerant fan members that watch our show and that love our show would also enjoy.
And that's the thing. I believe you should start with dessert first. And so while you're being all ladylike with your spoon, I'm going to just dig in with my hand.
I love that, Tumi. So I'm going to be diving into this delicious food that we've prepared. Yes, we are having our cake and eating it too, but we do encourage you to do the same. And let's keep the conversation also going on our social media platforms. It's been a pleasure touching base with you. It's been such a pleasure seeing Derek Watt again, seeing Nicole Kappa, touching base also with Jerusha and everyone involved in the campaign. Hats off to Adcock Ingram OTC and sponsors of Brave, the next generation. I'm looking forward to seeing what season 3 has up their sleeves as well. And thank you, Mzansi, for watching, making my day every day. But from us here on Afternoon Express, good night, stay safe and happy eating.
Clover celebrates spring with exciting giveaways. Look out for selected Clover products in store to stand a chance to win. Made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.